Right. Okay, let's begin with sun cells just to get everything going. So I'd like to do 3 of them today, but we'll do 3 slow ones. All right, here we go. Hands to your heart. All right, forward, up and back. And just take it easy, forward fold. Especially with this weather, right lunge, this smoky fire is not healthy. Down dog. And cobra. I haven't done a sun cell in a week. And down dog. And right lunge. And forward fold. And come up. And fold. Now I'd like to kind of keep it at this pace. And the left lunge. And down dog. And cobra. And down dog. And left lunge. And fold. And come up. And to your heart. So do 2 more of these on your own. Try to keep the same pace. And I'll see you at the end of the 2. what came to me when I was doing those was churning. And I think that's appropriate for what's going on weather-wise, with the wildfires from Canada and all this smoke that's in our atmosphere. It's so unhealthy. And with me not feeling well, so if you come to seated, churning stuff out, getting it out, mixing it up, moving it around, maybe that's the best. And I'd like to sometimes, I follow a routine. And sometimes I just go very intuitional, and I feel like that today. So it might not flow like you're used to, but all of that is okay. All right, finish out this last cycle. And then hug your knees when you're done. And then roll to cat stretch. I'm just kind of following some internal leads here. And I think what it is, when you sit and you rest, you need to move the spine more. So, these simple basic movements, it's always the stuff that I go back to, when there's any kind of illness or a low mood, or you got the I don't wannas, something like that. If you just go back to basics and just simple things and maybe just a minute of it, it's amazing how it can just change and snap you out of any of those moods. So I was able to move a little bit every day. I did modify it and cut it shorter, but I did do something, and it helped immensely. All right, pause and let your back go flat. And slip your right hand under the left and drop the shoulder. And then inhale as you open it up, open up the chest. So I'm gathering that, with the chest cold, that this is a good little practice to keep the lungs moist and moving and open. The same thing with starting with sun salutations, which we don't normally do. It's keeping everything moving. And then the breath moves, keeping the moisture with it, keeping the lungs healthy. All right, switch to the other side. And if you ever kind of are not feeling, quite up to it, maybe this would be the practice to resort to. And then what I did when I was at the height of the cold was not do as many. I could not move quite that much, but I did. I had to give up my pranayama for a couple days, but then when I went back to it, that really helped as well. All right, let's finish this one. Go to all fours and just gaze down. All right, take a couple good deep breaths. Hopefully you don't have your windows open today. And then tuck your toes and come to kneeling. And another one that I was able to do was my modified camel version. So, one hand at the heel and then the other arm up and over and then switch. And then when I was, deep into the cold, I didn't even raise my arm. I just bent back. Like this a couple times just to get my spine to move and to keep all the fluids moving. Now that I feel better, I can move a little deeper. And another good chest, upper back movement. For any congestion, even if it's sinuses, it doesn't matter what the symptom is, whether it's cold, sinus, or poor air quality, that kind of thing. The symptoms still are the same. You do the same exercises, same remedies, no matter what. Okay, so relax out of that. Let's take a quick rabbit. And then come out of that, tuck your toes again and rock back on them. So squat. We're going to rock in and out of it. So onto your knees and then back to squat. So gentle but effective. And then I can remember teaching way back when several students would come to class with colds, or maybe the end of them. And I would always suggest to do downward facing dog, full down dog. So let's go into that. Let's practice a full down dog. And then bend your knees about halfway down and look forward. I call this puppy. So go back to down dog and into puppy a few times. And a nice comfortable pace. You don't have to speed in and out of it. Simple. And then when you end up in puppy, drop to your knees and come to kneeling one more time and just take a rest here. So kind of let everything, like that. Just breathe. All right, lunge came to me next. So let's step your right foot forward and extend your back leg. Look forward. All right, let's switch. We're going to switch again. So come back to that first leg forward. And when you straighten your back leg, place both of your hands on the inside of that front foot. And then try it again on the other side. So you go into a regular lunge and then you just switch your hands. All right, relax out of that. Come back to kneeling. Let everything kind of settle. And I'm hearing shoulder rolls. So let's just go with that. So again, some forward. Open up that back. That's where congestion is too. We always associate it with the front of the chest. But of course, it's in the back of the lungs. So those need to be opened and massaged as well. And then speaking of which, if you can stand it on your knees, or you can come to seated, just bring that arm across the chest and reach. You want to breathe very mindfully, like even breathing. Same inhale, same exhale. You can count like 1, 2, inhale, 1, 2, exhale, something like that, or whatever your breathing pattern is. And you don't need to make it different than what it is. Just find a comfortable number and just use it. All right, try the other side. All right, same thing. All right, relax out of that. Interlace behind your hips and roll the shoulders back. And let's just lift the hands off the hips and just feel that nice chest expansion. You can look up. And then relax out of that. Bring your arms forward. And then now pull forward, open the back. Let's do that again. Interlace. And then the forward version. You can interlace here too if you want. And open the back. Just think of stretching and rounding that upper back. Keep the breathing even. All right, and release out of that. Come to seated. All right, next thing that came was, that nice little side stretch, the one I really love is one hand on the floor, and then your other arm comes up and over. Just kind of start slow if you want. And let your breath match the movement. Just comes so nice and natural. All right, let's switch sides. All right, let's finish this one. And yoga mudra, so interlace and either do a half forward fold or a full. I'm just going to do half. And then come up. Change the cross of your legs. And let's try that again. And come up. And while we're here, open your legs up and tuck a heel in. And let's do, I got my right one tucked, so left hand to left foot. And bring your right hand to the low back. And let's start opening chest this way, roll that shoulder back and look up. And then bring it back in again. So turning that into like a little roll of the shoulder back and forward. I think we're going to do probably about 10 of these. Let's do one more. And then go back to wide straddle before we go to the other side. And one hand on each foot and fold forward just halfway. Look forward. Even breathing. All right, now come up and go now to the other side. So left to left, right hand on the back, and then just start that little rolling, that little rocking with the left shoulder. I also notice over the years that whenever I'm not feeling 100% or well or whatever, it's very comforting to do grounding yoga postures, meaning the ones that are primarily on the floor. And I can notice that that's what I've been leaning towards as well. That just kind of comes, when you start practicing. All right, let's release out of that. Go back to that half forward fold with the wide straddle again. And look forward. Keep the wide straddle interlaced behind your hips and rotate the shoulders. And relax your hands back to the hips, come up and hug knees to chest. Breathe deep. What happens too that I have noticed is, during these lower times, things might get stuck in the hip and pelvic area. So transition onto all fours again and bring your right forward and put both hands on the inside of that front foot. Like we did before on the lunge, but don't straighten that back leg. Just keep the knee on the floor and start dropping the left hip toward the floor. So we're going to do that about 10 times too. Just take your time. You don't have to go to the floor if you don't want to, but just the movement alone will help release some of that stuck And it's not just stuck physically, it's stuck on all of our human levels, which is, mental, emotional, spiritual, um, the pranayama, the breath level, all of it. And then if you start feeling open enough, you can turn your head back, look back at that back foot. You kind of deepen that twist, kind of wring things out. All right, and then relax. We're going to take a quick child's pose before we go to the next side. Okay, and then now come back and prepare for the other side. So I'm stepping my left foot forward, extending that right leg, both hands on the inside, and start dropping that hip. And just let your body turn with this. So if you feel that motion, go with that. Don't try to keep your body looking forward or anything. Keep it in motion. Let it turn and gently twist. And think of wringing out a wash rag or cloth or something, just twisting it out gently. You can start looking behind at that back foot if you can. Still being easy on the body, seeing what you can find, seeing what you need or what you don't need. And that don't need part is very important. If you don't want to do that, then it's hard to listen to it, but you need to. All right, we're going to take a child's pose after this last one. And when you're in that child's, make sure that you're mindful of your breath, even full deep breathing. All right, let's come out of that and lie on your right side. And you're going to stack your feet. Oh, you know what? Grab, forgot this part, grab a pillow or a block or something to put to support your head. I forgot about that part. Just something so that you can lay your head rather comfortably. So your head's kind of not dangling. If you got a cushion, or I have this pillow that's here all the time that works for so many different things. So this, if you get onto your side, it support your head like that. we're going to bring both of our arms are going to come forward. Like this. So with both of your arms forward, coming right out of your shoulders, your palms are going to match up. So it's palm to palm. And your head is resting gently, hopefully. And what we'll do is just gently, I'm on my right side, so the left hand's on top. And we're going to pull your left hand away from the fingertips toward the wrist so that you're rocking the top shoulder, your left shoulder back. And your fingertips should end up somewhere about where your wrist is, your right wrist. And then now just slide it forward, fingertips to fingertips. So that's the movement. Roll back and slide forward. Roll back, slide forward. So just keep doing that. It's a small movement, but it moves the upper shoulder girdle that you don't normally do. And that's a nice little opening practice. Kind of supports the head and the neck, gives a little gentle exercise to those tiny muscles that do so much work. So this isn't a big movement, you just kind of just relax into it. All right, now the next phase of this is when you're palm to palms together. Now we're going to go the other way. So your top left hand is not going to reach forward off the right hand, so that your right fingertips are almost lined up to the left wrist, and then back again. So try that. Left hand reaches forward, right fingertips to the wrist, and then back again. You do that several times. So if it feels awkward, it probably does, because it's a very unnatural movement. But definitely worthy of it. These small movements have such an effect on the body in a more subtle way than the bigger ones do. They all have benefit. All right, bring your palms together. Just take a brief rest. And you'll notice how you feel like you need that rest. It's interesting. Breathe even. And now we're going to put the two together. So draw your top left hand, fingertips to the wrist. We're going to roll back and then roll forward. And then back and forward again. Just keep going. All right, do one back and one forward. Do one more around this. And then end up with your palms together. And just take a brief rest. Just like we did with child's pose. And you're stronger movements earlier. Even deep breathing. All right, now other side. So I'm on the left. And I'm trying to get my body as straight as I can. And then bring both arms forward, palm to palm, and just kind of settle in here first. Okay, once you feel settled and balanced, start drawing your top right hand, roll it back, fingertip to wrist, and then palm to palm. All right, now bring your palms together, take a rest. Now do the opposite one. So your top hand is going to reach forward and your left fingertips reach the wrist and then palm to palm. All right, palm to palm, rest. Breathe. Generally like 3 deep even breathing. In between a practice. And then let's combine them. So start with rolling back and pressing forward, back and forward. While you're doing that, I need to get my water. And I'll be right back. All right, bring palm to palm and take your rest. And now onto your backs. So just a gentle knee hug. And a happy baby. We're going to end with moving yoga. I think it's very appropriate. So the last little series that we just did, and this next one that we're going to do is taken from Feldenkrais. And I have been taking some classes with a very popular teacher right here in the Twin Cities. And my teacher, who just passed away, was into the Feldenkrais movements also. So I know that they are effective and have great health benefits. So relax out of happy baby and come into just a quick shavasana, just a quick full body rest. 3 breaths. Okay, now bring your arms at a T, bend your knees, feet flat on the floor, and bring your feet and your knees together. And we're going to drop both of your knees to the right and then back to center. And you're welcome to look opposite your knees. So your knees drop right, you look left. Exhale down, inhale up. And we'll go right up into the end of class with it. So just take a brief shavasana at the end. Now switch with your knees dropping left and look right. All right. Bring your knees to center, straighten your legs out. This is just for a breath. All right, now bend them again, feet together, knees together, arms out at a T. Drop both your knees to the right. Keep your feet stacked. Bring your arms up, palms up overhead. And then switch your knees left and bring your palms down to your hips. And your head is opposite your knees. So inhale, arms up, knees right. Exhale, knees left, palms down. And just take your time. Nice, deep, long inhale. And an equally long, deep exhale. And if you match it with the breath, it's a beautiful fluid motion. A lot of times during winter, we call these snow angels, but we can think of floating on water in the warmth where you feel supported, or even in the green grass, if we had green grass, if it was nice and soft, you feel supported by Mother Earth and, gaining her energies, particularly if you're not feeling well. There are negative ions that have healing properties in them when we ground ourselves to earth, especially with bare feet and green grass or dirt or gardening. So it's always good to take your shoes and socks off, go outside, and we've got the perfect weather for that. And I've been doing that and trying to do it every day. You just walk around and, go visit the insects or the vegetables and the flowers, say hello to the trees. Hug a tree is a good idea. And they benefit from your energy too. All right, almost done. So balance yourself out, go into Shavasana, take that quick, brief rest. All right, roll left, come to seated. And I know it's 12 o'clock, but I think it's a good idea if you want to hang on just for another minute to do a round of Nadi Shodhana, to kind of balance all of this out. So I'm going to I'm actually going to make this class public and call it, kind of a wellness class. So this is a good way to end. So let's get your mudra. And we'll close that right nostril and exhale left. And try to do it the long, elongated, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 breath count. We'll just do one round. So take your inhale and exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Stay on the same side, exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Now release, exhale and inhale 3 times, both nostrils. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste and be well. See you next week.